Hello everyone, this is Yun Cai from NewAspect. Welcome to NewAspect Salon. I am thrilled to introduce you our artist today, and thanks for PowerChip Foundation. We have the honor to invite our superstar, Nadine Sierra, to come to our show. Welcome, Nadine.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Okay. Nadine, this is your first time to Taiwan. We're so excited because we saw all the performances internationally. You are such shining star in opera world. So how do you feel about it?
Well, I feel, first, it takes so much work, It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of, it's not just time on stage or time in rehearsals, but it's also the time in my private life where I'm always taking care of my voice, trying to take care of my body, trying to take care of my health. I would equate it to probably how a ballet dancer has to maintain, their body and their health, because they're always looking ahead to the next performance that they have to prepare for physically. And I think singers, especially opera singers, it's very much the same. It is sort of an Olympian thing that we do. And so, yeah, there's a lot of work and there's a lot of travel as well behind all of that. So I think there's this balance, right, of feeling very grateful that I've had success, and I'm of course very happy. And then there's the other side where, it takes a lot to reach that kind of level in one's career. So yeah, it's wonderful, but you really have to work for it.
Yes, thank you so much for coming to Taiwan. We talked to your manager and realized that the schedule is intensively busy.
Yes.
Yeah, but we're very happy to have you. And are you excited to come to Taiwan for the first time?
Oh, of course. I'm so excited. As you said, it's my first time to be there and my first time to sing there. And so, to travel to this part of the world and experience, new people, a new culture, new food.
Yes.
You mentioned my manager. He messaged me yesterday and he said, I'm already looking up places that we're going to go to in Taiwan to eat. And I said, good. you do that.
Yeah.
So but yeah, I'm so excited. And I'm also very excited to sing with Taiwanese musicians. I've never had that chance, and so I'm really looking forward to it because I love meeting talented musicians all over the world. It just makes me feel even more grateful to be doing what I do,
Yeah, and you will feel the enthusiastic atmosphere in Taiwan because our audience is really, really supportive to music, especially to classical music and to all kinds of performing arts. So we have
that's so nice.
Very, very nice audience. Yeah. So speaking to the concert this time, would you like to introduce us a little bit about your program for this concert in Taipei? Yeah.
Yes. So this is a total bel canto dedicated program. So it's some of the most, let's say, the pieces I sing the most in bel canto. So we have Amina from Sonambula. We have, I believe we even have Gilda at some point there. We have another one. I'm trying to think. But some of the ones that I've sung, not just sung in concert, obviously, but that I've had the experience on stage in productions to do with so many incredible colleagues, and of course, world famous opera houses. And it's repertoire that I've had. And Lucia, that was the one I was thinking. Of course, Donizetti's Lucia. Because, these are things that have not just made me the artist that I am, but they've also developed me into the woman I am. Because, of course, I've learned so much through my art, right? About who I am and about who I want to be, even in the future, as a woman of opera. So, yeah, I hope the audience will be happy to hear all of these pieces, and I hope that they're ready for lots and lots and lots of high notes, because that's also a big part of this program.
Yes. I know from your program, I think one of my most favorite arias is Chili del Sueño. It's
yes.
really difficult and
yes,
iconic repertoire, and it takes long breath, and also energy, and all the exquisite transition. And how do you keep your physical condition and also your emotional condition throughout all these performances or practicing through your preparation? What's the trick? Do you have any tips to go through this?
Yeah, of course. I think there are two very important things. One of them is, of course, all of the foundation of training from before. Now, I have been training my voice since I was 6 years old. So I have been taking voice lessons for 31 years. That's a long time, right?
Yeah.
And I've known my mentor for 23 years. I met him when I was 13 years old. I was already, training in opera when I was 10 years old. So this is very young.
Right.
And I think that foundation of training and still training presently, never stopping to learn about technique and my voice as it's growing, maturing. This is so important for singers to maintain, not just the health of the voice, but also the health of a singer's mind. Because when you feel unsure about what's happening to you vocally or technically, I think this can really mess with a singer's mind when they're performing. I find that singers become more stressed and more nervous before they perform, and there isn't this ease of performance in the moment so that the audience can enjoy that. And I do really think that that's very important. So just number one, training. Keep up training. Keep up that coaching with a person that a singer can really trust. And then I think the second one, I still enjoy performing. I don't see it as, of course, I make my living as a singer, right? But I don't see it as a way to become famous or to become very wealthy or, to have as many followers as I can. Of course, all of these things are very nice, but really, you have to enjoy what you do. You have to love what you do, because then I think that's how the audience can fall in love with opera again and again, is having a person in front of them who really is a servant to the art form. And this also keeps me mentally and emotionally humble. I still feel that I'm on the ground and I'm still having sort of a good humility in my soul, when I sing. I think these two things are essential, because I have seen the opposite. I have seen, people being a little bit unhappy in what they're doing, or they see performance as sort of a routine and not something that's really fulfilling their lives and fulfilling their souls when they perform. And I think that's I don't know if I would continue singing if I felt that way, you know?
Right. It will probably be a little bit depressing somehow.
Yeah.
You don't love your job, or you don't love singing or enjoy what you do, right? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. So, well, speaking to arias we just mentioned, and how energy or technique consuming it is, how do you treat your, when we can talk a little bit about the technique thing part. What do you think about breathing and the time? Because music is an art of time, right? And how do you see your breathing, and how do you manage this throughout your singing, and the relationship between breathing and any phrase, and in each phrase or between phrases? What do you see the connection, or is there any ideas or a special way when you see this?
Oh yes, of course. Breathing is the most breath control and sort of this control over one's diaphragm. All of these things are, I mean, they're so important for opera singing, right? When I was a little girl, I grew up in Florida. And in Florida, I don't know if it's the same in Taipei, but we swim a lot. There's, we have a lot of sun, we have a lot of heat. And so being outside, going swimming, it's a very common thing. So when I was a little girl, I used to swim all the time. I was a fish in water, and I would pretend to be Ariel, in Disney's Little Mermaid, and I would sing all the time. And there was something, I think, without my even understanding what I was doing, I was developing my lung capacity even from the time I was a really young kid by swimming, but also swimming and singing at the same time. So from the time I was really little, I think I was 10 years old when I started to study opera, I combined the two. I combined my athleticism, and I was just doing it for fun, with the training that I was having every week, with voice lessons. And of course I would practice every day for an hour every day. I combined all of this together, and naturally I was able to develop a sense of breath control, and just, at the end, not even having to really think about it, because it was just something I did every day. And I think singers today, and even in the past, I think it's important for singers to be physically active in order to develop a very good sense of breath control, and sort of this circular breathing that I was taught when I was very, very young. I think sometimes if that's not there, you can really sense it in a singer. You can sense that maybe there hasn't been some breath work that hasn't been done. But I was lucky, right? Because I started all of this so young, and sort of unknowingly what I was doing.
Right.
And I guess now that I'm an adult, and I'm very aware now of what I do, I keep that up, right? I go to the gym every day. I'm always trying to move my body. I'm very active, and it's only made my singing better, easier, and more comfortable. There are many times I hold phrases and I don't even realize I haven't taken a breath, but it's really due to being active. Truly, I think so.
Right. So when you train your physical condition when you was a child, and so speaking to emotion, you have sent so many arias or these leading roles, and as a contemporary female singer, how do you understand these women? who sacrifice for everything for love. And do you feel you're for them in some way, or
Oh yes, I know.
Women probably will not sacrifice so much for love anymore in this day. But since it's 19th century, and how do you see this?
Okay, so we're going to be very honest then in this interview, which I love. And the answer is, when I was a little girl, becoming a teenager and going through puberty, oh my goodness, I wanted to fall in love so badly. I wanted to fall in love. I wanted to be a Disney princess. I wanted my Disney prince to be nice to me and sweet to me. And then when I was 18 years old and I had my first serious boyfriend, real life, slapped me completely in the face and showed me that heartbreak is a real thing. And that we still, even if I'm a modern day woman, women today are still understanding how much they give in relationships and how much they give, how much they sacrifice for their relationships. It could even be in their work. It could also even be with the question of bearing children. I have had this question. I'm 37 years old and I don't have a child. I'm 37 years old and I've never been married. These things are hard for me. They're not easy realities to face sometimes. And I've also had hardships in relationships, being with people I couldn't trust in the end, people who broke my heart. I grew up in a family also that had a lot of complications. My parents, in their relationship, they had a lot of issues, and that affected me and my sisters quite a bit.
Right.
And, I look, maybe girls today don't exactly experience what Lucia goes through, or Gilda, or Violetta, but there are similarities. There are. And I think what I do definitely is I take those similarities that I have had in my own life and the emotions that I have inside of myself, and I project them into these girls when I play it on stage. And I think for me, that's kind of a form of emotional therapy, because I get the chance to play out these things that I do feel, the realities that I feel inside of myself, into the girls that I play, which are not real. And maybe I think it has made me be more believable to the audience on stage. And there are still, even though we live in 2026, there are still girls now who are being sold in marriage or being controlled by the men around them in their families, or being taken advantage of in a very big way by the people around them, which unfortunately are probably mostly men.
Yeah.
So I don't think there is such a big difference. There is obviously a small one, because we're living in different eras to these opera heroines, but women are still having struggles when it comes to these types of topics, and even myself, because I'm only a human being. I'm not just this, opera singing lady. I still have a heart, and my body is still made of flesh and bone. And I still, process all of these things too.
Right.
But there's beauty in that, there's beauty in these things, because that's what life is about. And that's what creating art is about. It's just a reflection of our humanity.
So if the opera shows so much about emotion and relationship, whether it's romantic or not, and also a reflection of life. What would you suggest or advise or tell our audience when they watch or they go to opera? And what would you think, or what kind of experience you would try to give them?
I try to give them, if it is in my power, I try to give them an experience they will never forget. And why do I do this? Because when I was 10 years old and I fell in love with opera, that's what happened to me. You know, it was an experience, even though I was so young, that I will never forget. And I haven't forgotten about it. And sometimes when I go back and I look at the performance that made me have this reaction, it brings so many tears to my eyes because it influenced my entire life. And I think people seek out entertainment, whether it's in films or Netflix series or opera or just straight theater. We go to these things because we in our personal lives can relate to some of what is happening on stage. And we can lose ourselves a little bit in entertainment because we learn something from these sort of fake scenarios about human life, but they have truth to them. You know, they always have truth to them. And I want to give that to people. I want to give to people every time I perform the same experience that I had when I was 10, so that people walk away thinking, wow, opera is so incredible. It's so magical. And I understood everything. And I'll never forget this.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just the biggest gift a performer can give to anyone.
Right. In your leisure time, do you go to opera as well as the audience?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I go to operas. I go to musicals. I go to plays.
Yeah.
I go to so many things because I learn a lot from other artists.
Mhm.
Even if they're not opera singers, I learn so much
Right.
from other live performing artists. Even when I watch movies or I watch series, I study the way those actors perform. I study how they act and how they convey certain emotions to make themselves as believable as possible, because I'm so fascinated by that sort of talent. I think it's remarkable. And I'm very inspired by it too. And it influences even my own performance
Mhm.
when I'm on stage.
Mhm. You just mentioned you go to like musicals and all kinds of performances, and it really shows from your recording and also the YouTube videos online that you have sung a lot of different genre of
Yes.
music, right? And
Yes.
And in terms of the development of your singing career, so you lyric coloratura, right? Now,
I think now probably my voice is heading more towards a lyric soprano, but with the facility
Mhm.
of a coloratura, can do the coloratura notes, having that agility, also the higher register. But yeah, I am feeling now, as I'm growing older and maturing, my voice is becoming a bit more lyrical.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And what would you see your career development? Will you transform to like more like a dramatic spinto, or do you have set up any, or your expectation, or how do you see your own singing career development?
Yeah, I definitely can feel that my voice is heading toward a more um towards more lyrical roles. So
Mhm.
probably like Mimi from La Boheme,
Yeah.
Desdemona from Otello. Now I'm doing Louisa Miller at the Wiener Staatsoper, and this is an earlier Verdi that requires a bit of lyricism.
Yeah.
And of course, there's Violetta. She was someone that I started looking at in my early 30s, um, because I could feel that that's definitely where my voice wants to go. And
Mhm.
the female voice, um, in a different way than the male voice, it develops a lot in the 30s, especially in the mid to late 30s. There are definitely a lot of changes that happen. Um, and I'm
Well,
going through that.
okay.
Yeah, I'm going through that as I speak.
Mention about the changes in what way you think, for example, if the speaking will be lower sound wise, or what kind of change for
I would, yeah, I would say since I was in my 20s, my voice now I think is more round. It's more, um, especially in the bottom register.
Mhm.
I feel like I have a lot more sound that I can give
Mhm.
without pushing. This has nothing to do with pushing or over darkening the sound. It's just a very natural occurrence that the voice becomes a little bit more plush.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's more velvet to the sound. There's more um, grounding to the sound that I didn't have when I was younger. And
Mhm.
my voice also sat a lot higher when I was younger. So probably in my early 20s, I was more of a uh, coloratura than I am now,
Right.
which is interesting. It doesn't happen to everyone. There are some sopranos who really stay a coloratura soprano all their lives
Yeah.
because that's just how their voices are built.
Mhm.
But there are some, yes, that they start out as more lighter lyric to lighter coloratura, and the voice just naturally becomes a bit more, oh, you know, just having more girth and more sound. And
Mhm.
it is a lot of fun to work with. A little scary too, because when you face newer repertoire that requires the full body to be singing, it's it's a different experience. It
Right.
really is.
Yeah, so just one more technical question. So if you change to like lyric soprano or even like a dramatic spinto, is it possible to go back to like
I
more lighter sounds, or like coloratura is not possible, right?
I I think it is possible if you sing healthily.
Ah, right.
If you are pushing,
Hmm.
the voice, or
Hmm.
straining the voice when you try to sing a little bit more lyrically, I think going back is really tough.
Yeah.
But I think if you sing anything healthily, you can sing anything if you have the proper technique.
Hmm.
Um, but you know, I have found it that some people, they strain the voice or they push the voice past the limitations of the instrument, and when they try to go back, it's really tough.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Hmm.
think singers needs to sink in the moment or whatever
Yes,
role it is. So
yeah, they
effect
have to take
sound of
care.
the body, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, absolutely. So traveling around the world, you're meeting a lot of new musicians uh, for collaboration and speaking to conductors also. So when you see or when you work with the new conductors, a new conductor, what would you? Is there any like specific way you're treating new people, or what's the approach to get to work together?
Oh, I try to treat everyone the same, if they are someone super famous like Zubin Mehta or, Daniel Barenboim. I treat, the younger conductors who are coming in exactly the same, with the same respect and the same appreciation, because they are musicians too, and they are working just as hard as I am to make something of themselves and hopefully be a servant to the art form. Now, if I feel that, these conductors are misbehaving, because sometimes they do, or they have, an ego, or they're kind of mean, I I still treat them with respect, but I allow myself to have some distance, with people like that. But I think it's important, we're all in the same boat, I think. No matter which level of career we are able to achieve, at the end, the most important thing is to serve the art form, not to serve ourselves, but to serve the art form. And you can only do that, I think, if you are always acting as a team.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think so.
Agree. And that we're going to celebrate Lunar New Year, like holiday.
Yes. Yeah.
But, since it's an audio podcast, I would like to teach you some greetings lines when we greet people during the Lunar New Year. Would you like to?
Oh, please. Yeah. Oh, yes, please.
Okay. That's in New Year we say 恭喜恭喜. Perfect intonation. 恭喜恭喜.
恭喜.
恭喜 means blessing. We will meet people in blessing, and we, of course, in Chinese culture, we would like to be blessed, and also rich. So 恭喜发财.
Oh, say it again.
恭喜发财.
恭喜发财.
发财.
发财.
财 means qigong. Do you know Ravel qigong? The pronunciation is 恭喜发财.
恭喜发财.
Yes, perfect.
Oh, this is fun.
And one more. 红包拿来.
One more time.
红包.
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 Yes. 拿来.
拿来.
Perfect.
红包拿来.
Yes. 红包拿来. 红包拿来 means when we celebrate Lunar New Year, the parents or all the senior people will give children the red envelope. Have you ever received red envelope?
No, never.
And the red envelope, there's cash inside. So whether it's $600 NT, which is about $20, or or even 6,000, so $200 US. Sometimes we just put it in the red envelope and we give to the it could be to your parents or to any your beloved ones. So 红包拿来. 红包 means the red envelope, and 拿来 means please give me. No, please give me the red envelope.
I love it. I want a red envelope.
Yeah. Okay, let's finish the sentence again. 恭喜发财.
恭喜发财.
红包拿来.
红包拿来. Hi, I am Nadine Sierra. I hope to see you March 9 at the National Concert Hall. And I wish you 恭喜发财. See you soon.